Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer, and this is The Road to the Record, where I work to achieve mastery of 10 games in a hunt for the best score of the Decathlon. If you like what you see, remember to hit that like button. You want to see more? Hit subscribe. Let the games begin. This is Pro Cycling Manager 2019, Pro Cyclist Mode. It's our Classics Rider, and we're on to episode number 6. Stage 3 at the Volta Alentejo, and we are in second place with a sprint stage ahead of us, and technically all 3 of the stages remaining are sprint stages, though stage 4 and 5 there might be a hill or two that could have something to say about whether it's a regular sprint stage or a small group finish, but none of them will be down to just the last couple riders like stage 1 was, that we came so close to taking, but my teammates ran out of energy a little bit faster than expected, forcing me to go a bit earlier than expected. And then I also ran out of energy that little bit sooner than expected. So we nearly won by a comfortable margin, but without the energy to get to the finish line, they caught us and we held on to second place, but couldn't do better than that. Was pretty fortunate to hang on to second. With no action, though, until the final kilometers, we'll move to just that point. 27k to go. 5 riders still out front. They've nearly been caught, but it's still just inside of a minute, so it could be a hot mess at the end of this stage if we don't bring them in soon enough. There is a group off the back. That group came off the back because of a crash about 15k ago, where with the chase on, the pace was a bit too hot. They just haven't been able to reel it back in. Unfortunately for us, our main sprinter Whipper, was in that bunch. So we're going to see this little hill right here. This shouldn't do anything, and so with the breakaway caught, maybe those guys will get back on, but I doubt it. They're 2.5 minutes down, so they have not really pulled back any time here. So I've got, McGeo, the only one left. Mudgeway and Maestra, the only other 2 guys I have control over. You can see that their bars are empty. So as we move on to the finish of this stage, it looks like I have a single lead-out man in the final kilometers, and that's going to have to do. And as for Machado, he is fresh, so there's no chance to attack him.
There's a mass crash in the back, but it doesn't look too serious. The teammates of the main sprinters are not handing out tickets for a breakaway,
okay,
so the stage will
7k to go. And yes, that group never did make it back, and actually some other riders have started to drop, like Maestra, 90 in the peloton, and let's see, 5.5k. McGeogh's in the right position here, so I don't need to worry about him too much. 5k banner, so let's go ahead and use our gel. Oop, just lost a rider there, huh? Okay, McGeogh's still in a good position. I don't have control over anyone else. And final 3k, we'll have to get him on the move here in just a second. There we go, 2.6. I think that's as far as we're going to be able to take that. Go ahead and relax. You're going to go at 99. We're going to follow you. And you're going to start pushing. So here we go. McGeogh. Give it to me, buddy. Sprint. McGeogh. Get me into that last little bit. Oh, I hit sprint right. This game always does that to me. Always. Does it do it to you as well? Drop a comment below if this happens to you all the time. A rider gets dropped from the group literally right as you click the sprint button, and then it doesn't work. And so you lose 100 meters just like that. You lose 200 meters just like that. And we went from a really good position to now a position that we've got no chance with 600 meters left to go. Now, of course, I'm not a sprinter. I mean, my top speed today is a 67. But I have acceleration. If you're in the right position, you could almost maybe squeak out a top 3, but there's no way. I mean, I'm just barely getting over the top of McGeoch here. Gate actually involved in the sprint this time. He takes second place. That's good for him. But I'm outside of the top 10, so no bonuses of any type for that one. 13th place. Lucky number 13. Machado there in 19, so he's not losing any time. Knew that was coming. But that's stage 3 now in the books. 2 to go, and both of those last 2 stages, there's a climb or 2 to shake things up a little bit. They're not pure sprints, so we'll see what we can do to get some sort of shake-up. But it's not going to really affect Machado. I don't think there's any chance of dropping Machado in the last 2 stages. The best chance we have of getting anything is dropping some of these sprinters and then getting a decent lead out and squeaking out a top 3 and stealing some seconds. Because we're only 4 seconds down. Gate, with his finish there, moves up into 9th place. Finish top 3 is the new team objective, and of course that wasn't even there until just this stage. So now they decided they want me to hang on to that position, so we pick up a whopping 2 points. But if we do manage to stay in the top 3, I think we'll actually end up getting a pretty decent haul once the race is done. So as you can see, stage 4, it's not a big climb. It's not a steep climb. There's a little bit of a steeper section right here where it ramps up a bit. But we could probably drop a few climbers on there if I have control of enough guys. And we'll see what we could do about that. So this time we'll join in at that 133k sprint point or thereabouts as we try to thin the field out a little bit and then see if we can't sprint our way sprint me right into the top 3. 35k rolling quickly along through the tunnels. We are approaching that point already where I want to have a go. Unfortunately for me, the entirety of the race, the only rider that I've had control over is Maestra. And you might have noticed that it just faded away. So I'm on my own. I have no support whatsoever as we approach that little climb. So I'm going to try to put a little herding on there, but it's going to have to be just a little. I'm not going to thin this thing out, and I'm not going to have a lead-out train either. So very unfortunate. 6 riders in the break are still just over a minute ahead, so they're not going to be caught anytime soon. Not too soon anyway, but we're definitely starting to bring them back in now. So 25k, and it's only one steeper section where that ramped up. The rest of it is pretty gradual. We're at 2 degrees right now, and it looks like it's going to be about the same through the other section. So it's slowing the field up slightly, but it's still ultimately a flat rating. Now, my condition is really good today after the mess that was yesterday, so a +4 is nice, and it's really showing. So there's something somewhere. It feels like there's got to be something I can do, and we will try when we hit that climb, but we've got to make sure we get to the front at that point. So I'm going to have to start moving up pretty soon because more and more riders are coming to the front to get involved in the chase, and it's shuffling me down quite a few wheels. We're getting close to it now. It's 19k, and I actually just moved up. It's going to make it a lot easier now from near the front. Coming up on it, coming up on it. We're still a minute and a half away from that point because the breakaway is a minute 17 out. and they're just about to hit it. So here we go. Here we go. We'll start scooting forward. And then we're going to go 95, so it's Hill's rating. Oh, I just rode right off the front. It's going to force a bit of a chase here.
There are a couple of riders who want to go it alone.
That is the pace of a punchy rider, but we can only go so far with it. Let's relay with this guy, huh? 30 seconds ahead. It's not going to hold, but I have good pace through here. He's not working with me, though, unfortunately. And that's going to have to be that. We're going to relax, and the field's going to come back at us. The peloton itself, well, it's still almost 100 riders that are going to catch up to us. So very unfortunate on that one. And there you go, 100 riders. Did not drop the field at all. Except for my teammates. Are you guys that weak? Come on now. Gosh, almost the entire peloton is here. Almost. And I've got more than half my team out the back. Hey, down to 81 riders. That's looking a little better now. That could be a few sprinters down. That could be a few sprinters tired. But here is Whippert and Gate. I would love to follow them, but... Ooh, I could follow Whippert. Where is Whippert? Oh, well, there's Gate. Let's maybe follow Gate instead. Follow Gate. Come on. Get up there. Follow Gate. We'll take a ride behind Gate. That's a lead out for you. Okay, 4.5K. Come on, can you get up there? Get up there. 3K to go. Still trying to get into position without burning too much energy here. 2K to go. They're going to be starting. Actually, this is kind of a good spot. It's getting me an acceleration in a really good position. And let's sprint. Top 3. Come on. Almost. Not quite. Is Gate going to get the win, though? He does get the win. I get 6th. No time bonus. They're not going to give us a time gap there. Not happening. It's a sprint stage.
The riders bringing up their rear have made it through sheer willpower. This stage was a real strength sample.
That almost worked. I followed Gate. I got 6th. It's a good finish. But top 3 are the only time bonuses. And only one stage left. So, it's not looking likely at this point. But we're having fun trying, I suppose.
We've selected the following highlights for you.
Yeah, no time gaps. 100 riders all on the same time, as expected. Getting closer, 16 points. And I should get a decent haul, I think, at the end of stage 5. But let's go ahead and move on to that final stage. See what we can do. 34K to go on the final stage. And this is the one, other than stage 1, of course, that felt like we could do something with. We've got a little climb right here that could distance the field. And then the final is clearly uphill. It's not steep uphill. It's right between that 3 to 5 degree range where it's not going to do much. But it could certainly make this less of a pure sprint and more of a punch, which would then give me somewhat of a chance to maybe, just maybe, crack that top 3. But again today, they give me Jess Maestra, and he's on a -3, and you can see just how hard it is for him right now. as we go up this little climb here. And frustrating, because this could absolutely be a chance to do something, but we're way too far out. It's 27K, and it's not enough. The finish, I'm going to end up having to attack on my own here, and that's going to end up being that. So at the moment we've split the field. It's 21 riders, but it's definitely going to come back together. Machado's in the group anyway, but at least there's some support out there. Riders working, Maestro recovering, but again, he's all I've got. So there's just not going to be enough that we could potentially do with this thing. But we'll give it a shot.
It's going to be hard work to maintain the breakaway.
We'll give it a shot. See what we can do on that final little bit. So as we move in a little bit closer, 20K banner. Little downhill, little flat valley section before we rise to the finish.
There are just 15 kilometers left.
15K. I think I'm quite secure now in that top 3. But can I turn it into squeaking out a victory?
Only 10 kilometers left.
It's ultimately going to take that top 3, because Machado's not going to get dropped from the entire peloton. Is what we're down to now. And Maestra can't give me a lead out, so I'm literally on my own. And no other team support, so yeah, it's...
Which will most likely end up in a mass sprint. The escapees have surrendered. The pack gave them no chance.
Yeah, let's see. Machado, I just saw you back behind me a little bit. There you are, hidden right in front of Ribeiro. Observe. Didn't give me the full bar. Dang it. Would have been nice if it had. So here we go. 5.5K, and we are starting that uphill. So it's a little bit further out than I expected. There you go, 5K. And here's that little uphill section, the first of. And you see just how much more pace I have compared to these other guys. But it flattens out, so I can't attack from here. It's just in a good position. Dang it. Let's go. Follow gate. Okay, we're coming up on 2K. Kump and Rayovic are trying to attack, and this is coming up on my second chance for something also. We're now able to
there goes the sprint. The strong men are giving their all.
Get something out of this. So here's that little uphill section. This is my best chance. I am off the front. 1K to go. Could we do it? It is all uphill through here. And sprint to the finish. Come on, baby. Come on. First career victory. Yes! Ooh, it worked. It worked. First career victory. And it's enough to take the overall race win as well, with the 10-second time bonus.
We're waiting for the back markers, who appear to be fairly numerous in this difficult race.
That is not winning a sprint. That is winning a little punchy climb. It was a little above that 3 degrees where it put me into that hills rating, partially mixed with that flat rating. And it turned it into, instead of a standard sprint, it was more of a slog up the hill, and we did it with our acceleration rate, just a steady pace. I didn't sprint until the last couple hundred meters you see there, right there at the end. Hit that sprint. But those guys, none of them were sprinting. I mean, they were just pedaling hard up the hills. Ready, 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 and here comes the acceleration. Bam, bam, bam. Nobody else had any legs left to do that. And that's just that uphill. Got myself in the right position. in the front. Took it. No time gaps as expected. All the way through 102 riders. But there you go. There's the overall win. And Alarcorn, actually, who took second or third there? Second? Took second. Picked up 6 seconds. And actually, he moved up to tie Machado. And apparently on countback, they gave it to him. So, Alarcon, I guess, over Machado, dropping all the way to third. So from first to third on that final stage. And Gate took 8th. Oh, this is going to be... Oh, I got the sprint jersey as well with that stage victory. Of course, the under 25s. Nice. Nice. There you go. There's a level up. First stage race win. First victory, both in Continental, 65 points. And then here comes the overall evaluation. Very good by winning. That's another 74 points. Oh, happy day. Skill point and a level up improvement. So let's look into it. Of course, I've been going with the puncher here lately, but the puncher this time would not give me any hills or mountain rating. We do gain 2 resistance and 2 stamina. But that is just about standard. The stage racer is not going to get that one, so we're definitely not going to take that option. Yeah, stage racer, the only one I'm not going for at the moment because I want the resistance. Everybody else is going to give that to me. So we have time trialing, and that doesn't matter. Climber gives me 1. I'll take that. Time trial don't need. Sprint is certainly helpful. Northern Classics, I at least get a 76 there. That might be what I end up having to go for. Baradur, I'm getting a flat rating increase. That could be useful. That cobble rating might be better though. And the climber rating, bringing that up, might be more useful at this point because a flat rating of 69 is decent. I think that's where we're going to end up going because the puncher, nothing. My hills are too high apparently. So, at least for the moment. So we'll take that climber rating over the flat one. That's not a big boost this level, unfortunately. But let's see what we get here with the skill point. I could take that 3rd level on the XP. We're also just about to the end of the month, so that would put me at that max 65. And, looking at where we're at, that's already going to be a pretty big boost. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Though my first fitness peak is coming. You know what, that's short-lived. That's a few days worth of racing. This is for years to come. I'll take it, finish that off. We'll get the training and the fitness peak as our next couple targets and go from there. Alright, so we've got a 1-day race coming up. I have new responsibilities. Okay, one of the key components. I can now make teammate requests, which I'm not in a team to really do that, so it's not something I'm going to bother with anytime soon. We're resting this week to avoid the fatigue. We are getting closer to that fitness peak. And let's see, we have 30 points to go. We're picking up 2.25 daily. So that's 9 every 4 days. 3 on a race day. So we're still about 2.5 weeks away, depending on how much racing is in there, from starting that fitness peak. So it'll hit early, mid April. Let's go ahead and push on to the next race. That's going to have a mostly flat profile, but you can see it undulates there. It's very rigid. It's a constant up down on that one. So could favor me, but it's consistent. It's not at the end. I'm going to do better with something punchy at the end and flat early on, as I'm not good on the mountains, and so I'm going to struggle to keep up for a long period of time. But when the pace does pick up, if it only picks up late, then it could favor me. We'll see. It's the classic Atlantique, and this one has this near constant up, down, up, down. None of it's severe. It's not massive climbs. You can see right here, came off that little river, we've got this up, down through here. But it is absolutely enough to do damage in the field. So this is not going to be a day for sprinters. This is the kind of day that should suit my abilities. I'm a little bit worried about that mountains rating, though, on how that could affect me. The resistance rating, of course, as things really pick up. So we have Schupa in the breakaway, and it is a huge breakaway. He's 50% of it. No, that's not huge. Huge by his percentage of the group, but in all actuality, there's only 2 riders in the break, so they stand no chance at all. You can see they're just down at the top of this climb as we have this little up, down through here. But this is the steepest part of the entire course, but it's quite short. So what we're looking at for this one is I'm somehow just inside the top 10 list of favorites, and I'm a leader outsider with an objective of, well, just that, top 10. Reason why only top 10 and not in a better position like in the previous race, well, we're not alone here. This is not Continental teams only. There are 3 World Tour teams, Movistar, AG2R, and let's see, who else? It is Groupama FDJ. Groupama FDJ, I think, is actually the one that brought the best team to the party, with Rudy Millard, and then let's see, what do I have on? Oh, I don't even have anything on these guys. Well, they brought 3 guys that were on the list of favorites. Morabito, maybe. Rue could be. Definitely Rudy Millard is the favorite, if one of the favorites, if not the favorite. Jesus Herrada is going to be a favorite. Jose Herrada, Nicolas Ede are all favorites. Hofstetter. So Cofidis brought one of their best climbing teams. And for Movistar, you've got Prades, Sudolin's going to be one of the favorites. Arkea Samsic, the other top Continental Pro team here, brought Warren Barguil, who's starting to finally get back into form after a couple of years away from that, and had a good Tour de France this year. I think he ended up finishing inside the top 10 at the end, or just inside, or just out, whichever it was. He was somewhere around 9th, 10th, or 11th at the end of that. Direct Energy, Turgis and Boudet. Tarme. So there's plenty of good riders around me, and that's kind of the point, is that getting that top 10 will not be easy here, but it could be done. So we're halfway through. We've got 90 plus kilometers to go, and I'm going to go ahead and speed things up because it's going to be quiet for a while, especially with only a breakaway of 2 riders. And for me, that's actually a really, really good thing. Now, a sudden split here when I should have been at the front of the group is a little worrying, but it does come back together. I'm not sure why I'm now in the middle instead of at the front. Let's try and move up if we can, please. There you go. There's the front. Let's stay there this time, if you would. If you don't mind. That's why I don't want to be in the middle. Sudden splits are a lot harder to recover from. So 75k to go. The weather could absolutely be a factor for myself or for other riders today, primarily in increased number of crashes. At the moment, we've got a peloton of 35. I'm not sure that it's going to stay like that. 97 riders giving chase. They are a minute behind though, and they are splitting in their attempt to track us back down. I think it's a little bit early to have this small of a group and be down to just Feely and myself though. So I actually prefer at this point in time to have it come back together. Though I suppose it's not the end of the world if... Oh, speaking of, there's a crash. Back into the peloton. Hofstetter, the one who goes down. That's one of the better riders for Cofidis. 34 riders now. 43-second gap. Whitehouse, the only one in that chase group. So if that chase group gets us, I would definitely want the next one. But Muella is the only one in the group behind that. So the Whitehouse group does remake contact, but here's that steepest section again. 55k to go. Shupa still off the front. They're down to just 40 seconds. They actually have 3 riders, so they picked up another. And we picked up a few in the peloton. Feely's gone though, so I'm on my own. And Shupa doesn't have much energy, so when we do catch him, he's not going to be much help for me. Feely, Whitehouse, and Muella now all in the chase group. So now it's not as bad if we get caught by those 24 riders, as I'll get a little bit of support out of it. I was just wondering, I was like, why am I still focused on Barkey? Well, that's because I clicked on him, didn't I? Alright, 45k to go. Only 19, 14, 10 seconds. And Shupa has been caught. Shupa, I know you don't have much energy, but give me a little bit of a respite here. Yellow, Whitehouse have caught us. We're all of a sudden up to 59 riders in the peloton, but we're about to hit these 2 climbs, and I think this could do some damage this time. Yeah, we were over it so fast it didn't split field at all. Let's go ahead and go back up there. And the back end did fall off a little bit, so 41 riders, and Shupa is all... No, Shupa's out. 39 riders, 32 riders. Bit of yo-yoing with those chase riders. Whipper and Feely, their group is 210 down. Rudy Millard has gone down. Rudy Millard has gone down, and we have just 28 riders in the peloton. Could this be the final group? 27 now. You can see more falling off the back. They're going backwards and not catching up. How big is that gap? That gap behind, there's only 3 riders chasing here. Taggart has fallen, he's a ways down. There's the big chase group. There's the big chase group, and we have just 27 riders. This might stay away. There's a chance this could stay away. Shupa and Whitehouse are in that chase group. Whipper and Muella just behind him. I'm not sure this group is going to get caught. I mean, these 1 or 2 guys might make contact. Now, a group of just 27, that really increases my chances here. Now, I've got 25k. I should probably grab water here. Don't you dare drop me, though. Here we go. Get my way back up into position. Now, I'm looking pretty fresh. I would imagine some of these guys are definitely not, though. I will drop down and try to steal and observe on some of these guys here in a little bit as we're down to 21k to go. The gap is opening behind. It's a minute and a half, and those 1, 2, 3 guys in between are gone. So those two groups have combined down, and they're a minute and a half back, and we're in that steepest section right now. So we'll see how this time gap looks at the end of coming out of this.
I think I saw a few riders on the ground.
Our group shrinking down, their group splitting off. Whippert is in the smaller chase group. Ooh, we're slow all of a sudden. We're slow all of a sudden. We're starting to fight for who's going to lead this puppy. So the puppy's just wagging its tail. 26 riders. 16k. How many sections do we have left? We've got one coming up here in just a moment. The bridge itself is uphill.
Only 15 kilometers left.
Over the top there, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 climbs left, and that little triple climb is where this group is gonna really get whittled down. 24 riders in the peloton, and it's 2.5 minutes to that chase group. So yes, they are going backwards. This is it. Top 10, far from secure, but the odds are looking favorable. 11 kilometers. 11 kilometers to the end. We'll first get down here, and then I'll take a better view here in a moment. Here's the hill. "28 riders. A small group caught us. But those are chasing riders that probably will not have much energy left. It's down to 8k.
Fall in the pack.
Not much action for a little bit, but the real action is going to happen at about 3 to 4k out. And that's where I'm going to want my energy gel. That's where this group is going to split in half, so we're going to go ahead and prep it right now. Okay, little steep downhill.
Kilometers to the finish line.
Once we cross this bridge, this is the steeper section. This is the double hill, and this is where it's going to happen. So we're going to try to work our way up to the front. Here's the little downhill, and here's the uphill section.
Features some dreadful percentages.
Could and should split the group. At the moment it hasn't yet. 2k to go. Okay, 24 riders, 1k to go.
There goes the sprint. The strong men are
And the sprint. This should be a top 10, but I'm not a sprinter. It's a top 10 though. It is a top 10. Turgis takes the win. Hirata, Bargi, Atapuma, Cockard is still here. I get 9th place inside the top 10. Just what I wanted.
the tail enders are still coming in.
So that worked out. That was good. 19 riders. I get in the upper half. Some definite names in that top 10.
There's a collective fall with several
I
riders
get
on
in
the
amongst
ground.
it.
We
So
can only hope that they all get
that
back
is
up.
a good result. Solid result right there. As we wrap this episode up now, we'll see where we're at in the points. What kind of eval we get for that one. We'll also have our end of month coming up, unless there's another race prior to the end of the month. But I think this might have been the last race of the month.
And here are the race highlights that we've selected for you.
It's good. I got in the right position. Couldn't sprint with those guys. But hung with them well enough. I mean, I don't even have Bargi. Ninth, good. That's 15 points. +2. And yes, we are at the end of the month. We'll pick up 65 points, which will put us over 200, just over 200. but we'll still need another 50 till the next level. So that's not happening right now, but let's go ahead and look at the points for the season now. On up to 8th place in the Continental rankings. And into the top 100. Up 76 places now on 141. So looking good, looking good. Still not a big total, but it's big progress from where we were just a handful of races ago. We were completely out of our element and just a domestique, and now we're starting to race more or less successfully. That's going to do it for this episode. I'm Decathlon Gamer, and remember, I'm aiming for the best of the best. So if you're ready to join me on my journey, hit subscribe and tune in next time on my Road to the Record. Bye for now.